Hey there, gang. I have a bit of a treat for you today. It is the return of the weekly haul video. Although, it's been probably about 3 or 4 weeks since I have picked up the books on my pull list, and I know if you own a comic book store, you're like shaking your head and you're like, dude. What don't share that with me. But yeah, this giant Mondo bag is chock full. So we're gonna go through everything inside. I'm gonna tell you what I bought, why I bought it, and we're gonna have some fun. So if you like comic books, stick around. Well, I guess I already gave it away. We're gonna have some fun. Hey there, Bobby. Welcome to Shanghalla. My name is Duke, and this is a weekly haul video, or as I noted in the cold open, really more of a monthly haul video. But hey, I think we're going to have some fun. The reason I sort of faded out of doing this type of video, even though there are a couple of subscribers who have professed to me that it is their favorite type of video that I do here on the channel, the reason was because that I often hadn't had a chance to read the books by the time I got around to posting one of these. And I say got around, but I had to do it, really within a week of when the books are released. Otherwise, there's no point. But as I say, usually I hadn't had a chance to read the books by then, so I really couldn't say anything about the book other than why I initially bought it. That's going to be kind of the point here as well. And you're going to hear me say again and again in this video that not only have I not read this issue, I am months behind in my reading. Sometimes I haven't read anything in the series yet. So I'm going to be kind of depending on you, dear viewer, to help me out with a couple of things. Let me know in the comments below, well, 3 things really. One, if you've read the book and you think it's fantastic, let me know so I can kind of pop it up to the top of my reading pile. If you think it's trash, if you've already read it and you think it's crap, let me know, and maybe I should just I'll set it aside. Maybe I won't even ever get around to reading it. And if it's something you'd like to see me do a review on, let me know that as well, because I do intend to finally, at long last, start getting into some actual comic book reviews. So let me know what you'd like to see me, kind of shunt to the front of that list. So anyway, we're going to talk about these books. I'll tell you what I bought, why I bought them. It is a big, long list. And there are also some older books in here, things that were reorders that Diamond or one of the other distributors screwed up on, or maybe I screwed up on it on my order form, or the shop screwed up on. Somebody screwed up. And I'm just now getting the book. So let's get right on to it. Please do like, share, subscribe, comment, do all the groovy things, and let's feed that algorithm, grow this channel. Tra-la, tra-la. So Adventureman, there was a little bit of a hiatus between issue 5 and here issue 6. This is by Matt Fraction and the Dodsons, Terry and Rachel. And this is a fantastic book. I really, really do enjoy this. I'm glad it's back. It's probably back for another kind of a short run. But yeah, the first 5 issues were pretty great. And here's a little kind of a look at what it's like inside. The Adventureman is this old kind of Doc Savage type pulp character that this woman here can see, even though nobody else really can, and all of his compatriots. She can see them, nobody else can, and so she goes on great adventures, and she's got this big, large family to contend with at the same time. So a very compelling book, very fun book, and of course the art by the Dobsons is fantastic. So there is issue 6, and also issue 7 just came out, and we'll look inside issue 7 as well. And yeah, let me know if you're reading Adventureman. Boom, 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 boom. I think we just saw that page. Boom, boom. Cherry Blackbird, this is from Scout Comics, or the Black Caravan imprint of Scout Comics. This is an 18-plus mature content book. I can't really show you the insides because it's in a sealed poly bag, probably because it's adult content. One of these I think was a back order. 4 is a back order. And I think the person who did this lives here in Maine. So that's kind of interesting. But this is your basic sold my soul to the devil to become a rock star kind of a thing. Chicken Devil, this is from Aftershock. And I'll be honest with you, I had put this on my pull list just because the title was so intriguing. But this is some kind of a hitman, assassin for hire kind of thing. I think the coloring there is a little dark. but that is the case with a lot of comic books these days. And it's kind of overproduced with, heavy cardstock covers and slick paper. For my money, most comic books would be better just on the old-fashioned newsprint. They don't need to be produced as if they are limited edition collectibles. Make them mass market consumer goods again. Bring that price down, for God's sakes. The price keeps me from buying a lot of things. Batman 89, number 4 of 6. It's been okay. I have enjoyed this, because it is by Sam Hamm, who wrote the Tim Burton Batman movies. So this is kind of a continuation of that. Kind of, sort of, although we've got, I think that's Duke Thomas there. I haven't actually read anything but the first issue of this one. This book I really enjoy, although I don't recall that it was originally solicited as a limited series, but it is now 9 of 12, I guess, as far as we're going. Hopefully this will roll over into something else. I really enjoyed the Scooby-Doo team-up book, which often teamed the Scooby Gang with Batman, and I've liked this. I hope it continues in some other fashion with something along that same vein. I think this is a digital first book, so if you're not into printed comics, which is to me kind of just weird and abnormal, but if you prefer the digital books, I think you can get this whole series. Is out there by now, but here's a little bit of what that looks like inside. Kind of a dearth of close-ups there, isn't it? It's all kind of far away shots, medium far away. This is, whoops, that's different. I think we crossed over into something different there. We'll go back up. But kind of the same kind of medium far shots. This, I think, is all done on the computer. I think this is all drawn digitally, which kind of makes a difference to me. Batman The Adventures Continue, Season 2, number 7. I think this goes to 10, although it doesn't. This one doesn't say that it's a limited series. This has been just kind of okay. I'll have to think long and hard about whether I do Season 3, assuming there is one. But here's an idea. That's another one that's not digital first, but at least drawn digitally. Defenders, I'm kind of a sucker for the Defenders, although every time they reboot the Defenders, they do it with Doctor Strange, Silver Surfer, Submariner, the Hulk, when really my Defenders is Hellcat, Valkyrie, Nighthawk. But for some reason, I just can't seem to resist whenever they do a new Defenders series. So, what say you? Have you been buying this? Do you like the Defenders? Is that just the trash Avengers in your view? Dirtbag Rapture. This is from Oni Press, and if I'm being honest, I can't remember. This is issue 1, by the way. I can't remember why I put this on my pull list. I think it was maybe just to try something new, and the solicitation might have intrigued me a little bit. This strikes me, looking at the artwork here, is one of those things that it's like, well, why is this a comic book? This could be a young adult novel type of thing. You got a lot of people just standing talking. It's like, why is this actually a comic book? So, I don't know. We'll have to try that out and see what it is. Echolands. Now, this is 5 issues in, and I haven't read any of them, partly because it's kind of a pain in the ass to read vertically. This is, or horizontally, I should say. Don't know my left from my right. Don't know my up from a down. A lot of books over the years have tried this. It rarely works well, but there it is for you. Let me know if you've been reading Echolands and what you think of it. Exciting Comics, a little panty shot there. It's not why I bought the book, but I'm also not saying it's not why I didn't. What can I tell you about this? Sorry, I'm just captivated by the cover. Exciting Comics is put out by Antarctic Press, and that's an old Nedor title from the Golden Age. And the thing here is, it often uses public domain characters, but sometimes they're new characters. It's kind of an anthology. There are several different creators in here. And so it's just, for me, a chance to kind of try some new talent that I don't know, that I've never heard of. You never know, from an investment standpoint, not that I would ever tell you to buy new comic books as an investment. But you could have the first work by somebody who goes on to be giant in the industry in one of these titles. But they're all little short stories, and so I just like trying that out. Firepower. I am fairly current on this series, although this one is one I missed, issue 14. For some reason, Diamond just shanked on us. Never got it to our store. And frankly, I think we get in like one, maybe two of these. I've got one on my pull list, and I think maybe somebody else has it on a pull list. I don't think we even buy any for the shelf. So I say we. You know the story by now. The company that I work for owns Dotcom Comics, the logo there that I showed you on the bag in the cold open. So, yeah, this has been good, although the pacing is just glacial. Not a lot happens in any one issue, or maybe more correctly, often a lot does happen. But and I find this with a lot of Chris Samney books. It just goes by so quick. I mean, it will take less than 10 minutes to read this book. So that's a hard sell for $3.99, but it's been okay. Green Lantern, I have to decide what I'm going to do about this book. I think I'm back on about issue 3 as far as reading it. The rest have been just languishing in my to-be-read pile. And so I'm going to have to decide either to read the damn thing or just go ahead and drop it. But the reason I keep buying it is because you get, like, here's a Dominator. I'm big on the Legion, and so anything that's remotely Legion-related goes on my anal retentive Legion of Superheroes buy list. So this sort of counts just for that. Hecate's Will. This is from Black Mask Comics. This is another one I can't remember why I ordered it, because I ordered it 2 months ago. But it was, I think, just a solicitation that kind of intrigued me. Kind of a weird muted color scheme. That's interesting. This one seems like it might have a little bit more reason to be a comic, but although, again, it just looks like a lot of people talking. Nobody punching. That was Stan Lee's rule about comic books. By page 3, somebody needs to punch somebody else. So we'll have to see what this is. This looks like it could well be a kind of a New Yorker short story in comic book format. We'll see. But it was something to try. Hey Kids Comics, this is by Howard Chaykin. It's kind of a semi-fictionalized history of the comic book industry. The first series, this is actually the second series, Volume 2, Profits and Loss. The first one I enjoyed, but it was a little bit hard to read because it popped back and forth in the I just noticed my nails need to be clipped. That's a little too late now, but if you just can't stand that, you go ahead and you register your hate and disgust in the comments below. But anyway, the first volume, Chaykin popped back and forth on the timeline for really no good narrative reason that I could see, and I kept losing track of where I was and who was who, because people look different, young and old, and so I haven't actually read. What are we on here? This is issue 6. I think this is the last issue of this series. I haven't actually read any of this series yet, but I need to. Let me know what you think of it. Impossible Jones. This is fun. I bought it just because of the Carl Kiesel. I'm kind of a big fan of the old Carl Kiesel, Tom Grummett team. So even half of that team is good. And then just, Impossible Jones. That's just a fun title. It was a fun character design, so I ordered it just on that point alone. Again, it's another one that's overproduced. You've got this heavy, slick paper, and well, actually, the interior pages are pretty much the same paper stock as the cover. So this is another book I think could have worked just as well on newsprint or some other kind of paper, and get that down. But that is from Scout Comics. I think that goes to 4 issues. King Conan, I had bought the Jason Aaron first 12 issues of Marvel's current Conan series. They were okay, and so I thought I would come back for his King Conan. And what are we on here? Oh no, this is issue 1, so that's why I haven't read it yet. So a little bit of what it looks like inside. I'm not generally a Conan fan. My Conan collection, Marvel's Bronze / Copper / Chrome Age Conan series, I've been slowly filling that in, you know, buying from auctions here and there and things like that. And I've got it, well, what do you go to, like 275 issues? And I think I've probably got about 180 of them by now. One day I'll get it all completed, and then I'll just go through and read the whole thing start to finish. But Conan wasn't something I bought into much as a kid. And even today, it's not really big. Doesn't have a big nostalgia factor for me. This does. I think the concept of this and mostly the characters being used and the title are all kind of dumb. But I'm a big sucker for the Red Tornado. The Red Tornado was kind of my favorite part of the Justice League of America when I was a kid, and so I had to get this just because of that. Although today's Red Tornado is several standard deviations away from where Red Tornado was back then, but we'll see. It's too bad he doesn't still have the striped pants and the curly over boots and the flared gauntlet gloves. I don't know who the guy in the Iron Fist mask is. Could be Iron Fist for all I know. Could be Danny Rand. They kicked him out of Marvel, so maybe he found a place here. But anyway, that's the first issue of that. I'll have to read that before I get too far behind on it. But again, I thought Firehawk was dead. Huh. Boob window. And this guy I thought was dead too. That's Flying Fox. Huh. Oh well. Out. This is from AWA, Artisan Writers Alliance, and this is kind of a, I think if I recall, this is a Nazis won World War II kind of thing, and I'm a sucker for that. So that looks nice inside. There's another one where we're 3 issues in, and I haven't read any of that yet. Planet Comics, again, that. Well, Exciting Comics was a Nedor title. Planet Comics, I believe, was that Fiction House? Who had Planet Comics in the Golden Age? But anyway, it's an old Golden Age title that is used for. Oh, look at this! Some nice underboob there. Sorry. Again, that's totally not why I bought the book. I bought it because, like Exciting Comics, it's mostly new creators doing either original characters or things kind of lightly spun off of public domain characters. And it's just kind of a fun way of seeing, getting some complete stories, more or less. They're mostly short stories. This one looks like it's no, I guess there's another story. I was going to say this looks like that was an issue long story. And it's seeing some new creators and stuff like that. So, Primordial, this is the Jeff Lemire. Is it Lemire or Lemire? How is it pronounced? You tell me. But I still say Mark Avanier. I still say, what are some other ones I always mispronounced? Busiek? That might actually be how it's pronounced. Anyway, not to get off on too much of a tangent. But this has got something to do with the monkeys and the dogs that were sent up into space first, survived, and are back. And they're pissed. And this is issue number 1. This is a few months ago. Again, Diamond kind of dropped the ball on fulfilling that order, but there's the first issue, and this one I think is the most current issue. That looks like a Mike Allred cover. It might well be. Oh, and the other reason I bought it is it's Jeff Lemire, however you want to pronounce it, it's fine with me. I first glommed onto him when he was doing the New 52 Green Arrow. Was it New 52? Or was it before that? Can't remember. But he was doing it with, and here's another name I'll probably mess up, Andrea Sorrentino. And I think that's a boy Andrea, not a girl Andrea. But I really enjoyed that. There's not a lot of Jeff's stuff that I've liked since then, and I absolutely despised what he did with the Legion. Because he didn't seem to, although he professed to be a big fan of the Legion, didn't seem to know the characters. And then when he did the, what the hell was that? Oh, the Terrifics, totally changed around Phantom Girl's origin and her planet. It completely destroyed that whole concept. I can get into that in another video. But anyway, I gave him another shot just because it seemed like kind of an intriguing concept. Who doesn't like squawking space monkeys? Not a lot going on that page, though. Here's a little bit more. Not a lot on that page. Not a lot on that page. So this looks like it's kind of decompressed, huh? Kind of decompressed. We're 4 issues in, but now that I have them all, I'll start reading that. Rick and Morty, I've become only really a recent convert to Rick and Morty. All during my newspaper days, I worked nights through the night, through the day. Didn't have time to watch a lot of TV, and so I just never watched Rick and Morty. But once I got done, started working for the company that I'm at now, I often have my iPad playing with something while I'm working, and there's, days when I pay more or less attention. In the days that I'm grading, it's just kind of background noise mostly. On the days when I'm just scanning, comic book covers, that's kind of rote. Yeah, it's when I, really kind of pay more attention. I can actually really pay more attention to what I'm watching than what I'm actually doing, because it's just scan, flip, scan for 8 hours. And so I started watching Rick and Morty just because I was starting to run out of things to watch, and I loved it. I'm like a complete, what do we call Rick and Morty fans? Rick heads? Morty fan? I don't know. There's got to be a name for us. But anyway, I buy most all of the Rick and Morty books now. Serial, that is number 9. This one I haven't read on purpose. Other than the first issue, Diamond screwed up on getting us issue 2. We never got it, was never able to get a reorder, and I've been asking around at different shops, have you got a Serial number 2? I even reached out to Terry Moore himself. He said he doesn't have any back issues of this title. Once he ships them to the distributor, that's it, they're done, they're gone as far as he's concerned. So I'm still looking for an issue 2. If your comic shop has a second issue of Serial, reach out to me, let me know, let's do a deal. Because I have been purposely not reading this until I can read number 2. But this is, if you're a fan of Strangers in Paradise or any of the other things that Terry Moore has done, you know what to expect here, and that's pretty much what this is to one degree or another. Strange Academy, I am kind of a fan of that book. One of the few Marvels that I buy, one of really only 2 ongoings, and actually now that Daredevil is ending, Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil, really... we're down to just this. So, it's a fun book. Stray Dogs. This is a book that I bought the original series, just ended not that long ago, and it was 5 issues, and it's still on my read pile. I still haven't gotten around to reading it, although it got really good reviews from different places online, so it seems like my instincts were right for getting it. This, I believe, is a follow-up one-shot. So it's kind of your... it's not really anthropomorphic because the animals are animals except in the sense that they talk, or at least talk to each other. So it's fun. It looks like fun anyway. I've got to get around to reading the damn thing. Superman 78. This is actually, for my money, the best thing currently being published at DC. I would like very much to see DC put Robert Venditti on the regular Superman titles. Get rid of this whole Son of Superman thing, and get rid of Philip Kennedy Johnson. There's a Philip and there's a Kennedy in there. I forget what the third name is. And it's not that I don't like him, but his first book, which was a Future State book, The House of L or something like that, was just so not Superman. It just struck me as somebody who just does not get the whole point and concept of Superman. Plus, it was totally deconstructed. There was a lot wrong with that book. Maybe I should do a review of that sometime. So I've been completely unable to get into his, and eventually I stopped getting his super books. But this has been fantastic, and I would love to see DC just go ahead and put Venditti on the regular Superman books. And there's some of that inside. Boom, boom, boom. Super Sleepy. And this is funny, because I got it because it looks very much like a Harvey book. And the funny thing about that is when I was about 7 or 8 years old and first really reading comic books, making my own purchasing decisions with my allowance money, I would have punched you in the nose if you tried to sell me a Harvey book. To me, Archie was comic books for girls and Harvey was comic books for babies. I was deadly serious about my superheroes. But they just looked like so much fun. And that's one thing that comic books just aren't anymore, is fun. And I've grown to really appreciate that Harvey style. And this has got a little bit of that, but you can see bits and pieces of other different art styles coming through. As a matter of fact, that character looks right there, looks very Archie, doesn't he? But anyway, I went ahead and got this. Now, it's funny, this square-bound format, I don't think is all appropriate for the all-ages audience it appears to be aiming at. I think this would be a hard book for kids to read. This really should be saddle-stitched, and again, newsprint, not slick paper and cardboard covers, because they'll tear this apart in a second. At least, with newsprint and saddle-stitched, it's a little more supple, will take a little bit more abuse. Tales of the Dead Astronaut is a book that I bought, really, frankly, just because of the title. It was such an awesome title. Source Point Press. I got the first issue. This is the second one, and those are the only books I've ever purchased from Source Point Press. And honestly, I'd never even heard of the company before until I was flipping through the previews catalog, and I saw this title, and it sort of stopped me dead in my tracks, which is funny because usually by the time you get past the A's, everything else is just everything else. So it's really a wonder I even saw it at all, but I was just captivated by the title. And this is, in many ways, kind of a continuation of an EC sci-fi title. It's an anthology with a bunch of different sci-fi based short stories. And you get a lot of different art styles in here as well. But I gave that a try, so I've got to read that. Telepaths, we're on issue 4. I still haven't read it. Man, I'm so far behind. Can't even tell you how far behind I am in my reading. But this is also from Awa, and I bought this really because of the name right there, J. Michael Straczynski. That's why I bought this. And so we'll see. We're almost done. I can probably read the whole thing in one sitting. Wonder Girl, I really did like Joelle Jones's take on this character. And is this actually by her? Unfortunately, she's kind of faded off the art credits. Where the hell are the credits? The credits are never where they're supposed to be anymore. Probably on the last page. It's not on the first. Nope. It's probably somewhere in the middle. Freaking Christ. There they are. So she's the writer, and Lila Del Duca is the artist. I've never heard of her name, but looks pretty good. Looks pretty interesting. So I'll look forward to reading that. World of Krypton. Now, I got this just because I like Robert Venditti's Superman 78 so much. I decided to give this a try. And so I'm looking forward to reading this. I don't know how good it will be, but I'm looking. What's this? Batman, Robert, and Howard. Okay, interesting. That looks like a Scholastic kind of thing. Good for who it's good for. Hey, oh, are those are actual Kryptonian? Somebody did their homework. I forget what they're called, but they're, well, we've seen these in the unboxings that we do. We see that issue fairly frequently where they're on the cover. These kind of television head creatures. That's interesting. Wow, he did his homework. Far out. I'm looking forward to reading that. There's another one I'm looking forward to reading, and it's been a long time coming. And I'm not sure if they were just late getting this out, or if this is another Diamond issue. But this is The Wrong Earth, Night and Day. This is actually the last issue of the third series. I think there were each 5 or 6 issues in this series. And you've got here Dragonfly and Dragonfly Man. And it's basically, think of Batman with the Golden Age version and maybe the Bronze Age or Copper Age grim and gritty version. And they cross over on their worlds and team up. And so this is like the third, like I said, the third series in this universe. It's by Tom Peyer, and he's the reason I bought it, because I'm a big fan of his Legion of Superheroes books. And this has been fun because this is not decompressed at all. These issues cover a lot of ground. These are worth your money. It's from Ahoy Comics, by the way. And it's nice artwork as well. And also, interestingly, they also have these, the back of every Ahoy book, they've got at least a couple of short prose stories that don't really have anything to do with and this one's actually got 3. Don't have anything to do with the main story. It's just a little extra bonus, and they're very much like, and they're only like a page or 2, or maybe just a page. But they're like little sudden fiction things of what you might have found in an Amazing Stories type of thing, and that's fun. And so between most comic books today will read in about 10 minutes, which is a hard ask for $4. But these Ahoy books, they will read, well, at least the Tom Pyre ones, these Wrong Earth ones, between the story and these short stories, you'll be at least 45 minutes with that book. So that's worth the money. So yeah, that's all the comic books. I don't know how long this video's gone. It feels like it's been about an hour. This is, I also got in this other thing that I had ordered, the Quality Companion. And this is from Tomorrow's. It's an alter ego. Alter ego is the Roy Thomas magazine. Whoops, actually, if I get it down here in the lens where you can see it. The Roy Thomas magazine from Tomorrow's, which I used to enjoy. And it's not that it's really changed. It's still great. Alter Ego and also Back Issue is another magazine from Tomorrow's that I used to buy on the regular. But now that they've got up to about $10 an issue, I can rarely fit them in my monthly budget. But this has actually been a long time coming. It took a long time for Diamond to fulfill this order because I ordered it months ago in a month where I had not a lot of things on my pull list. I was significantly below my regular monthly budget. So I threw this on, and I recommend it. It's the Quality characters who are now more or less owned by DC. You got Phantom Woman, Firebrand, Uncle Sam, Human Bomb, Plastic Man, Blackhawk, The Ray, Black Condor, Doll Man. And it's really cool because you've got, on the front, you've got some reprints of some Golden Age stories from each of those characters from the Quality Comics days. Although it's kind of weird, they include, you can see here in the table of contents, they include some fairly obscure characters like Wildfire and Madame Fatal, and even Midnight, which was a Spirit ripoff, an intentional ripoff, by the way. But no Dollman. And Dollman is kind of a cornerstone of the Freedom Fighters, so I don't know what's up with that, why they didn't include a Dollman story. But then you've got some stuff on the history of the company with, again, some old photos. You've got some little bios of a lot of the creators who worked for the company. They talk a bit about the copyright issues, and when they were taken over by DC and how that all came about. And here again is the issue with the copyrights and who actually owns these characters and which ones are actually in public domain. And then they've also have a little bit on each of the characters, which is cool. Now I've got a few little nits to pick here and there. Like for one, with the character appearances. Let's see if we can show you one. Let's find. Well, this is a good one here. Like, see the Red Bee. Now, I wish they had put those in chronological order rather than alphabetical order. And occasionally they put the date of the book, but on other times not. So again, I wish they'd done that in chronological order. There are some few weird things. Like here, they talk about the Ray 3, but under the power section, that refers to the Ray 2, and there is no power section under Ray 2, and so I think it's just a little bit of an editorial screw-up. Flipping through it, I noticed a few kind of typos and mix-ups here and there, but I mean, it's a big book, and it's got a lot of great information in it, so you got to give it a little bit of a pass. The other thing, though, is that as part of the copyrights, it didn't talk about the DC books from 2012, 2013, when DC redid all of the quality characters, Phantom Lady, Dollman, Human Bomb, and the Ray. as completely new characters, which I think was just an attempt to secure the trademark because there was the issue about whether or not they really did own those characters or if they had fallen into public domain. And so they redid them with new civilian identities, new characters. And this book doesn't mention that at all. And then I realized this book was actually published in 2011. This book's 10 years old. It's in great condition. It's been sitting in a warehouse for that long. But I recommend that. It's like 29 bucks. Where is it? Where is the price? Oh, $31.95. But if you are at all interested in the quality comics as a company or in these characters, this is a really great resource book up through about 2011 anyway. And then, last but not least, I did buy a couple of other non-comic book items. I have been after Dan, the manager of Dotcom Comics, because we also carry toys and games and other stuff besides comics. I've been after him to get some Mego action figures. I love, love, love Mego. And he finally got some in, and so I immediately bought a few that I didn't have. So you will see these in mascots in future unboxing videos. I haven't taken them out of the package yet, but here is Teen Wolf. I have a real soft spot for Teen Wolf. I'm lucky to be alive because of this movie. You know the part where he does that urban surfing bit? You know, where he stands on top of the van and rides around. We used to do that expressly because of this movie. And it's a miracle none of us ever got hurt or killed. But and because we did fall off occasionally. Anyway, I could not resist Teen Wolf. And then It, Pennywise. I'm sort of surprised this doesn't have Stephen King's name on it, but I assume they have the official license. Well, that's pretty creepy. Yeah, it's pretty creepy. So maybe I'll save that when I think I've got some horror books to grade or unbox. Although that would include peeking at what's in the box before I unbox, so maybe not. But anyway, if you live anywhere near Freeport, Maine, and you are interested in some Mego action figures, they still have a couple, 2 or 3 each of Superman, which is right here. I didn't get because I already have. Where'd he go? Oh, no, where'd he go? Oh, here he is. They've got a couple of Superman, and they've got a couple of Batman, who comes with a Batarang, but wouldn't you know it, I've lost my Batarang. And they've got a couple of the Flash, and they've got a couple of the Rocketeer, complete with rocket jetpack, which you can strap on if you so choose. And they've also got one Hannibal Lecter. And then they also had one Teen Wolf and one Pennywise, but I jumped on those. So, like I said, if you're anywhere near Freeport, Maine, and you're interested in a Mego action figure, go to Dotcom Comics, and those ones I just showed you, you can get. But that's it. That was a fairly long video because that was a lot of stuff. So please do let me know what in all of that you've already read and think I should read right away, what you've already read and kind of hated. And let me know so I can sort of just, let it drift to the bottom of the reading pile. Let me know if there's anything in there you'd like to see me do a review on. And other than that, by golly ollie, I think that's all I've got to say. Seems like enough, huh? All right, until the next video, goodbye, good luck, and please be good to each other.